Hey, welcome to Always Booked. I'm Olivia.
I'm Emily.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Danny.
Today we're going to be talking about The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
I was under the understanding that we were talking about Fourth Wing today. So, with that being said,
Embarrassing.
a little. Here for vibes.
Always here for vibes. Here for the drama.
Am I the drama?
Yeah.
You are the drama. Yeah, you are.
Okay. If I must be. So Addie LaRue, that's the book that we're discussing today.
Can you give us a summary?
I think also we should say, this is our first book club episode. Last episode we talked about ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, but this is our first book club episode. So, legitimately, we are in a book club together with other bookish people, and we read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue in our book club. So now we're talking about it here.
The only OGs left.
I think so.
Hey, that's crazy.
But anyway, we do have a real life book club where we read books, and now we're talking about them online with our online book friends as well. So this month is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Yeah. So basically, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue follows the life of, guess what? Addie LaRue. And from 1670 to present day. So it's a lot of back and forth, but it's very important because the story builds, you guys, it builds. But she essentially makes the deal with some interpret the devil, and he gives her life to last forever. But the kicker is that no one will ever remember her.
And the reason she's running from her life is because she doesn't want to get married.
Right.
This is whenever, 1600.
1970 something, yeah.
They'd rather die than get married and have babies and be.
Yeah, and she prayed to the gods after dark, which you're not supposed to do. And so as the story goes on, she meets someone else who happens to have made the same, not the same deal, but a deal with the same person. And he happens to be the only person that remembers her. And from there, I won't give, I guess we can give spoilers, but that's kind of the overarching story. And it's kind of asking a lot of questions, existential questions, which if anyone knows me, knows that is my favorite kind of book to read. And I think we'll get into some of them today. So without further ado.
I think it also makes a really good book club book because of that.
Oh, absolutely.
It really makes you think. Even now, after reading it. I think, Emily, you said it. You liked it.
I did like it. I think I liked it less than you guys because I thought it was too long. And so I'm a very impatient reader. But I think it makes sense. Let me start over. The reason why it was so long is that it was just her living her lives over and over and over, which is the whole point of the book, right? But for me, I was like, I want to get to the end. I want to figure out what happens to her. And it was a lot of that.
And to be fair, it is a lot of misery at the beginning.
For sure. I think to Emily's point, it is kind of Groundhog Day-ish in the sense that you are it's the same situation that's happening to her over and over again. So it is I don't know, it's a lot of versions of the same thing.
Yeah, which is, I understand the whole point. And
yeah,
I'm
and
sure
maybe
it was done on purpose.
You feeling it as she's feeling it too.
For sure.
That pacing.
A journey for
misery.
sure.
Book that I definitely didn't appreciate until I finished it. Because going through it, it's miserable. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yeah, okay, I get it. No one remembers you. Suck it up, move on. You chose this, But then you get to the end and you sit with it a little bit longer and you're like, oh my gosh, the layering of this story is so beautiful. I get it, because what I love is you're reading the story. As you're reading it, you're like, okay, what happens next? What happens next? What happens next in her life? But when you're looking back on the story, you're layering her and Luke's story. All the flashbacks are the layering to build her and Luke's story.
The devil.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Henry, is that the other guy's name? Henry is the guy that you're actively interested in while you're reading it. And then when you look back, it's oh, I'm understanding that this story is actually building her and Luke's story. Which Henry was just more so a pawn in the grand scheme of things, which I just love. I love a multi-layered book.
Yeah, for sure. I think something about the way that she was forgotten as well, so essentially in Addie's dilemma is that when she makes a deal, people will forget her when they stop looking at her. And I feel like that's so, and as like a woman, I feel like that spoke to me of like women, I feel like always feel the need to like be more and do more in order to get people's attention and to like keep it. And so she basically had to like figure out everything for herself and try to figure out how to like survive, but all within like a short amount of time, or like using attention and like people's attention against them for her own good. I just thought that was like such an interesting, another like layered dilemma within the whole book of like even her, and even like her whole plight being that she didn't want to be trapped, just to find herself trapped in like a perpetual state of like needing people's attention, and also like being lonely while having like an unlimited resource
Yeah.
to a degree.
And like the moral dilemma too of like she gets to know people. Like you meet the same people multiple times because they're meeting her multiple times. But she's in relationship with these people. Like she has fallen in love. I think the guy's name was Remy at the beginning. Like she wakes up beside him and she's like fully infatuated with him, and he gives her money and is like, for your services.
Right.
Stated. Because she's in love with him and knows so much about him, but nobody knows anything about her.
I also think that's interesting to go with, like, she wished to not be married, but what she was stuck with was to not be loved.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is such a heartbreaking take on it, and like the understanding of it. What a good book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to read a quote to piggyback what Danny was saying. By the way, this book is very beautifully written.
Yeah.
And so what I started to say earlier, but that I lost my train of thought, was I think I would appreciate it more now, because going back and looking for quotes, I'm like, wow, every single one of these is.
Yeah. It's written very poetically.
Beautifully written, painstakingly written. It's, I wager to say, sorry, I'll let you get to your quote. I actually couldn't get through the reading of it, so I listened to the audiobook, and I really loved the audiobook. I thought that was a really great way to listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did too.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is, it is sad, of course, to forget, but it is a lonely thing to be forgotten, to remember when no one else does.
Yeah, that's
Isn't that so
painful.
sad?
That hurts my feelings.
No, right.
And that's how she's living her life, which I think is why it's so impactful when she meets Henry at the bookstore. I think he worked.
Yeah.
She meets him and is stealing a book or whatever, and then comes back the next day to like run the same hustle or whatever, because she can't have a job, she can't do anything. So like she's coming back to get the book, and he's like, I remember you. Yeah. And her whole world turns upside down, and they fall in love essentially. Yeah. And I think a good discussion point is whether they did truly fall in love or it was meeting a need for both of them. Because Henry's curse. Somebody talk about Henry's curse.
Henry's curse was that he only had a few months to live, but everybody was pleased with him.
Everybody was obsessed with him. Yeah, loved him.
What someone wanted him to be. So like the question, I love how they play.
Yeah.
I love how they play into each other, because it's the question of like, is she seeing, like, is he seeing her because that's what she wants so desperately?
Right.
Oh, I love it.
It is. Like, that's the loophole to the curse.
Yes.
Luke's curse is this one person can, is because I need that the most from that person.
100%. I am in the camp that they were not in love. That's kind of where I lie.
Also agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think this book also plays on the like love and hate are a lot closer than they are separate, because to Hannah's point, like the whole book really is actually about her and Luke and their relationship and the way that they like honestly like flirt with each other and everything. Like if anything, the curse that he gave her was for his benefit, to always be with her and to always like be around her. And so when she meets Henry, it's almost like another way to like toy at her and to like ruin her perpetuity forever. But she hates him. But it's like
It's a Stockholm syndrome
Oh,
type
100%,
of
100%.
Well, at the same thing, he's the only one that knows anything about her.
Exactly.
So you have to have some sense of like adoration or fondness of that person because he's the only one that knows
Yeah.
if he sucks or not.
Unfortunately, towards the end of the book, they play onto that in the sense that like that backfires on him because he knows so much about her. He has been stuck with her for centuries. He has taken the time to get to know her. So the exact curse that is afflicting Addie and like not being remembered by these men that she has gotten to know and like spent time with is now afflicting Luke because he's like, I know you.
Mm-hmm.
I know you better than anyone else out here. And at the end of the day, it's gonna be me and you.
Yeah.
So, and he's here to play a long game, but I guess so is she. I love their dynamic.
He's also pretty sexy. Like, unfortunately, he is hot.
Not mad about a hot man, you know that.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even say he's morally gray. Like, he's evil,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he's
I
pretty
had
hot.
a friend. This is side note but funny. So after I did my Goodreads review of this book, she texted me and she said, "Hey girl, I saw that you finally read Addie." And I said, "Oh my god, I loved it." And she was like, "Yeah, and so I read your Goodreads review, and am I crazy? Am I just like not remembering the book right? But my read on him is that he was the devil."
Lucifer.
You're like, yeah.
And I said, I could see how Luke could be short for Lucifer. I see your point, and I choose to ignore it.
I have a Luke quote to read.
Oh, okay.
Oh, please share with the class.
Thanks. I am stronger than your God and older than your devil. I am the darkness between stars and the roots beneath the earth. I am promise and potential, and when it comes to playing games, I divine the rules, I set the pieces, and I choose when to play.
Hot. Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's my man, and I'm sticking by him. You know? Like, at the end of the day, like, they are playing a long game. And I love it. I think it's
What does he describes that he looks like? I can't remember.
hot.
Well, yeah, but like,
No,
what
it
are
is.
his
Isn't
features?
he like dark hair,
Dark. Okay, that's what I thought.
chiseled jaw? Right. What color? I feel like
Black.
his eyes were a big deal.
Oh, green.
Green.
Or because they would change,
Yes.
right? With
They would
different emotions.
Yes. They were like a mood ring.
Different shades
Yeah.
of green, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think something worth bringing up and chatting about is Addie kind of like sacrifices herself to Luke for Henry. So this kind of plays into the were they in love argument. And hey, actually, I hate even like bringing this up because I'm like, oh, were they in love? Were they not? This, that, the other. There are so many other really important themes of the book. But hey, at the end of the day, I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl.
It was like a love story.
It was.
Like it was.
in many ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she sacrifices himself for him, and so I wonder if it's more so like her love of humanity and like her like kind of deep understanding of humanity, and it's like I'm okay with being like a fleeting moment in your life, and that you won't remember me because you have so much to live for, kind of thing.
I think it was. I could see that, but also I think it was her one chance to make an impact on the world, so she took it. Because there's a quote in there too. I can't remember if it's Henry or if it's Addie. I think it's Addie, but it's something like, "What is your life value if you're not able to make impact on the world? Like, does your life mean anything?" And I think for her, she was like, "This is literally the one impact that I can make, so I'll do it. Like, I'm screwed either way. It doesn't matter."
I think she was always searching for that too.
Yeah,
She spends a while being a nurse in World War II.
I think her journey of also always connecting with artists
yes,
and being obsessed with people that are leaving a permanent mark on the earth and of their perspective of their expression, I think was so interesting. I love the way the author infused art and the process of art throughout the whole book. Like at the beginning of every chapter or every like part of the book, there's a piece of art that says like that essentially Addie influenced and like inspired the artist to make, whether it was like a song or a sculpture or a painting or whatever, and it says like how much it was going for and like what it was named or whatever. And I thought it was just so interesting to even just think in like actual pieces of art that exist of like how much of story like it is within them as well. I thought that was just so fun.
She's making such a great point there, though, because when you think of like schools and they're going to cut budget, the first thing they're going to cut is the arts. And like the arts are so underrated, and they're within their play and history. And it's one of those things like winners write history, XYZ. But the first thing to go when like people conquer is art.
Yeah.
Of like an olden day, because it depicts an entirely different society and a culture that then conquerors are trying to bring in. And so like I think a lot of people, I think at this point we do understand the importance of the arts, but like, and I guess in a way everyone always has, but this is a different take in the sense that like art will outlast. Art will outlast the person. And in Addie's case, it kind of does, even though
that's
she
true.
kind of gets to continue on.
Yeah. But even that, I guess that was her only influence on the world. Even though like, she couldn't be depicted, she couldn't be photographed, but her inspiring art, or, you know, whether they knew it or not, it was her influence on them that made art. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Henry writes a book about their story. That's how it ends. Is her in the bookstore.
I think Henry might have loved her for understanding his situation. I think I don't know. I don't know if she loved him. I really don't think that she did, because I don't know any situation, but hey, maybe theirs is it, where she'd choose revenge over love, and essentially that's what she did.
That's true. But what was the alternative? Like, he was going to die.
Was he?
The whole thing was he was alive for a year. Once they met, he had like 40 days left. And then it was like 3 days left when she sacrificed herself. So it's like, he's going to sacrifice himself. That's all I can think about.
So, follow-up question. Was she in love with Luke?
I think she was.
I don't think she was in love with him.
I think she
I
was
think she
too.
was, because she was always disappointed when he didn't show up.
Right.
Well, I don't know
Because it's
actually,
the
because
only
at the
constant.
end, she's like, I'm going to destroy you.
I think Luke has a lot of affection towards her. I don't know if he loves her. I really think she's like a pet,
Yeah.
and like that's why he like has affection for her. But I don't think
Hey, color me shocked getting to the end of the book, like the end half of the book, and being like, no, he likes her. Like when they meet in LA or
when they're at dinner.
yes.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
that
that
was a
LA
great
dinner was
scene.
great.
I was like,
Is that the first time they hook up, or they
Absolute
hooked
tea.
up before that?
I think it's the first time, because she's supposed to be meeting someone there, I think,
Right.
or something. And he's like, he's not coming. And he's like, I'm gonna be here though. And then they hook up that night. But I remember cut to me in the antique store getting stuff for bookstore, right, listening to this, and I'm surrounded by old women. Oh my God, I'm surrounded by so many old women. And I said, can y'all hear this? Cut to us at work. Listen.
I was going to say, I literally remember sitting at the desk with everyone
Yeah.
listening to that, and I was like,
No.
nobody look at me. Nobody look at me.
I have a picture of you actually, and you're like, yeah, no,
Face.
because that was, like I said, the book starts so slow, and so it's really hard. So all of us were reading it till literally the day of book club. What a bonding experience.
I will say I'm sitting here thinking of who I cast for Luke, and I can't remember who I said at the time, but right now in this moment, I'm
Justin Baldoni.
Oh my God.
Oh, I really thought that's her.
No, but that is a good one. I was thinking of more someone who's a little older.
Oscar Isaac.
Yes. Oscar Isaac would be so good.
No,
like,
I'm right there with you.
yes, like he has the eyes of salt and pepper hair, the curly.
Bad energy for me.
Oh,
No.
Addie.
Oh.
Okay.
For Addie, what does she look like? I don't even remember.
Right, exactly.
I think in my head, I was just picturing like I think she's like blondish, no? Or she's like brown. I don't know. Lily Rose Depp.
I think Lily Rose Depp is a phenomenal cast, actually.
I don't know. Someone who like looks miserable, built-in misery, like Timothy Chalamet.
He could be
No.
I was literally about to be like, oh my God, we should cast Timmy as Henry, and then I was like, there's a history there.
No, Logan Lerman was my Henry.
That's
that
a
one,
good
That one
cast.
did lock in because he's so sweet. Like you feel so bad for him. Like his sweet little puppy dog eyes. Like
Exactly.
so that he was my cat.
100%. That's great.
That one stuck. That was it, I think.
I did love seeing like all the connections that she made along her life, though. Obviously, connections only one-sided. But the different like types of people and relationships that she had, like I guess when you're alive for however many years, hundreds of years, you learn to love different people. But she really did. She connected with so many different people. Who was the artist that she was with?
The sculptor.
The woman. Was she a sculptor?
Oh,
Yeah, I
the
thought
woman.
she was
That's
a sculptor.
right.
She may have been, because she was in her life for a good bit. Like she would revisit her. I really liked them together.
Mm-hmm. No, they were the ones
It
that I
seemed
was
like
like,
maybe they were actually in love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was giving love for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Didn't she die? She went to her funeral.
Yeah, she grew old. She had to watch her grow old. And that is a bummer. That is a bummer. In which, hey, hate to hearken this to Miss Swift, love her. But something I say about Taylor Swift all the time is that I think she is so brave for being willing to fall in love so many times. That because I think falling in love once and having a bad breakup burns, like so I think she's really brave for that. And so I'm making that akin to Addie. I think she's very brave to like understand that, hey, these people will not know you. That is your curse. Like this is what you're living with and you're choosing to love and be hurt every day. I think that is a testament to her strength as a character and like her willingness to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
And ultimately, she's kind of getting what she wanted if she didn't want to get married because of the commitment of it all to one person. But like, she got to love a lot of people, and I think that's awesome.
But like the question is like, did they ever get to love her?
What's more important, to love or be loved?
That is the question. Both.
Yeah, like it really is. I feel like if I was her, I would feel so depleted. Like I have nothing else to give. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to keep on giving yourself.
Yeah, like when loving someone is one thing, but when you love someone and that love is reciprocated, your love for them is bigger and stronger and better. So I think you hit that ceiling when it's not reciprocated. It's still love, but
would you say that the art that her lovers make is a reciprocation?
their expression of love for her.
It's the 1975 lyric, the "Don't fall in love with a moment, think you're in love with a girl." I think that is like what her life was over and over and over again. It was all these artists who were like taken by her, lore. I don't know, and they like fell in love with all these like little moments, but no one could ever like see her.
Right.
Yeah, I just feel kind of sad.
It's not a happy book.
No, it's not.
It's a thinky book.
Yeah. I was just thinking like going on a first date every single day of your life sounds like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, it does.
Take this player out of the game.
But this on the flip side, it's like I can do whatever I want, say whatever I want, be whoever I want. It doesn't matter. These people aren't gonna remember when I walk out this door.
But that's such a lonely
Oh, for sure. I'm just trying to find
for
some
sure.
sort of silver lining.
For sure.
100%.
Is there a scenario in which you would take this deal as a 16-year-old or however old she was about to get married and didn't want to? Would you take this deal? Would you think it was a good deal?
16-year-old me?
Yeah.
No. 24-year-old me? Yeah.
Oh, I feel opposite.
Yeah, I was gonna be crazy for that. 16-year-old me, yeah, sure. You don't think, but also she kind of didn't know. Like she was stupid and she worded it wrong what she wanted, but she didn't know what she was messing with either. So yeah, 100%. If I didn't want to get married to some old widow dude, I would do it. I'd probably do it today.
Fair enough.
I don't think so. I think teenage me, yeah.
Which curse would you prefer? Addie's or Henry's? Curse to never be remembered but always be a bystander, or to be exactly what everyone wants you to be and never be your true self?
Personally, I don't care what people think about me, so I'm picking Addie's. Like, I don't care if you're pleased with me or not. So
It is so lonely. Like you wouldn't have any
Yeah, I
connections.
don't think it's about pleasing people. Yeah.
I think I would do the Henry one. That's what I would prefer. Because then I can have like connections with people.
It's a great question because essentially they're the same
Yeah.
thing. Because nobody really knows or remembers Henry because Henry is always what that person needs. So nobody actually knows Henry. And then nobody remembers Addie because you're not able to. So it feels the same to me.
Needs to be authentic in each of her relationships. And I think I'm also taking Addie. I would totally value. I think at the end of the day, I want to be understood more than anything. So like to have to be whatever someone else needs and to always be on in that, at least with Addie's, you get to have a reciprocal relationship, even if it is for the time that it takes to be in proximity with that person. So
I think it is interesting. I wonder, and maybe this doesn't matter. I'm asking why. No,
Yeah.
But like, so Henry is authentically himself, but what the person receives is what they need. So like, how?
but he's not really authentically himself. What's the relationship? Someone's gonna have to remind me. He has his friends, his two friends.
Yeah, he has two friends.
College friends.
They have like completely different understandings of who Henry is.
True. They have two different perspectives of.
But I think that's because that's his curse. Like,
And that's what I'm saying. I would hate to be misrepresented in the world.
oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Like,
That would hurt me
yeah.
more.
Like, hey, you think I'm really funny. That's really awesome. But this person over here thinks I'm really caring, and that's really awesome. But like, I wouldn't consider myself either of those things, you know? Like,
And so actually, maybe I just marry the old guy and die regular. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Because I think honestly, Henry's curse feels like a version of being. I mean, both of them are trapped no matter what. Like they're both stuck and like, you know. But I feel like Henry's curse feels closer to what Addie was trying to avoid, of just all like living to please other people or someone else. And Addie was kind of more like, I mean, she was doing what she had to do. Like she was stealing, she was like,
She was hustling.
and like she was like just trying to make it. And so I don't know. I feel like that would be a rebel without a cause, you know? I like that.
Worst thing about, not the worst. I think the main reason I wouldn't even pick Addie's existence is because I love having a home and she could not
And that
have
is
a home.
so
And I
real.
think that like more than anything would just like set you off mentally. Like you have no
100%.
place to exist.
No, where's the bed? I need
You
the
sleep
bed.
in it one night and then somebody comes and buys your apartment because nobody knows that you live there.
Exactly. No,
That is too much.
I do understand that. Even thinking of like Henry's curse and like how we as readers are left being like, well, did she love Henry or did his curse just cause him to see her and he was just what she needed? So like having that constant questioning, no. And for those reasons, I'm out.
They both suck at the end of the day. But the book does not. The book was really good. And so many good quotes.
Should I read another?
Yeah. The one that I love too is there's defiance in being a dreamer. And I thought that was beautiful, especially for Addie because that's all she could do. Like that was her defiance, is like dreaming of what could be or how things could be different or saving Henry or whatever it was.
Okay, this one's cute. What she needs are stories. Stories are a way to preserve oneself, to be remembered and to forget. Stories come in so many forms, in charcoal and in song and in paintings, poems, films, and books. Books, she has found, are a way to live 1,000 lives or to find strength in a very long one.
And all the readers said yes.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen, for real. That's beautiful. Let me pull it up. It was kind of along the same lines. This is what she settled on. She can go without food, she will not wither. She can go without heat, the cold will not kill her. But a life without art, without wonder, without beautiful things, she would go mad. Like, I love that. Like, it makes me feel all like the same ways I felt when I read it for the first time.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that's so true. Like beauty is one of those things that like to the author's point, like doesn't actually provide anything. Do you know what I mean? Like things don't have to be beautiful, but the fact that we can make beautiful things even in the midst of like her horrendous circumstances, and that even she could see the value in beauty and in art and all of that. It's just amazing. It really does bring like such a great appreciation.
You had one more quote. It was the value of saying no.
Oh yeah, read it because I can't remember it. I don't want to mess it up.
She said no and learned how much the word was worth.
Ugh.
That is so good.
Oh, good.
Okay, yes, we are highlighting our favorite gluten-free bakery in Grapevine, Texas, again, called Pinch of Salt. It's so good. They have the best gluten-free goods. They have coffee. It's like a really cute area to go and read a book or have a book club with your friends.
Actually, every time I go, the same cashier is there, and he's literally always reading a book.
Oh, cute.
And it makes me so happy.
Precious man.
Yeah, so it's really cute. You guys check it out. It is in like a very strange area, and they have weird hours. So you guys need to look into that. But it is so good. 10 out of 10.
Cool.
I agree.
Get booked.
Get
booked.
Get booked.
Comment, subscribe,
Follow us on TikTok.
TikTok, always booked.
leave us nice comments, and if you're mean, I'll cry. Send to your friend.
Love ya. Bye.
Get booked.